So we're gonna try this again. And okay, I think I got it. Yeah, look at me, big-eyed. And I can see you. Why is it every time I get on the computer to make sure I see the comments, then my phone mysteriously works? Funny, isn't it? You can hear me now? This phone. Okay, so now we're good. I can see comments on both computer and the phone. So, today we are starting our Elemental Beings series, episodes. I don't know. I don't really have a call, part 1 of 4. And this is a good month to start the Elemental series. And I say that because Elemental Beings are a huge part of my practice, along, of course, with dragons, but Elemental Beings came first. So they are what I am the most familiar with, even before the dragons even came to play. Hey, everyone! Let's see, we got Sarah Lee, Kathy, Ronnie, Rebecca. Hey, everyone! Oh, I'm so excited. This is really early for me. I usually don't do anything this early. If the weather would have cooperated a little bit better, it's about to storm here, I would have been outside. I don't mind the rain. I love the rain. However, our elemental segment is based on the air elemental beings, and my phone doesn't like the water. So I didn't want to damage my phone by being out in the rain, even though I would have very much loved to be out in the storm that's coming. And this is actually a fantastic time to actually be out in the storm because of the wind that carries and is carried by the storm itself, even though it's a water and an air element. It would have been a fantastic thing. Maybe we'll slip out after this if I can remember to do that. If the storm actually picks up by the time we're done. I know it looks like it's sunny behind me, but I promise you it's actually really dark and gloomy where I am. But yeah, so today we're going to talk about the Sylphs. Sylphs are very important because the air element is one of the 4 cardinal directions, elements. And I say directions because of the elemental beings. But it is one of the 4 cardinals. And it is actually one of the most powerful. A lot of people don't think that. They think Earth is very powerful because it's very grounding, it's very strong. And then some people sit there and say that fire is the strongest because it is the most destructive. Then others say water is most powerful because there's so much water. But here's the thing, guys. The water takes over the earth. The earth and the water can put out the fire. And what do you need to create the fire but oxygen, air? So actually, air is the most powerful. It's the strongest. And a lot of people always they don't think that way. And I'm one of those ones because, you know, the air element is my weakest out of the 4. But I don't just say weakest as in, like, I can't connect with it. No. I say it's the weakest because it's the hardest to control. Because there's so much of it. And it's very untamable. Because can you tame the wind? I know I can't. I've been working on it. I'm always working on it. But my biggest thing is I speak to the wind. I listen to the wind. I let the wind carry things to me. Messages, signs, guidance, cleansing, breath, relief, things like that. But yeah, I already jumped right into some things already. I was very quick. I was going to let you guys actually listen to the music for a second. I wanted you to ground yourself. I wanted to cleanse, and don't take this the wrong way, I wanted to cleanse you through here, because when we go through elemental beings, if I'm not outside, I need something to set myself into working and speaking with them, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to light my incense here. I have clear quartz with tourmaline in it. It's extremely powerful when you deal with the Sylphs because it is, excuse me, a clarifier, but it is also a grounding tool to help stabilize you and me when we speak with them. And I want this to be the type of lives out of these 4. I want to see if you connect to the elemental beings, and be cautious that not all elemental beings want to work with us, me, you. It's just like any type of being, creature. They pick and choose who they want to work with. But if you're pure of heart, pure of intention, and you have no other type of, you know, miscued need and want from them, it works. They'll work with you. But if you have like a side reason on why you want to work with them, they know it, and they're not going to work with you. If anything, they're going to bring what I like to call like fairy bad luck to you. They'll make sure that, you know, things happen that you probably don't want to happen, only because you were trying to use them, and so in return they're going to use you. So be cautious of that. Be pure of heart and pure of intention when working with them. And you can work with them in a light spectrum or a dark spectrum, so don't think you can't. Just like any elements, you can use it in your practice. So let me catch one of these comments real quick. I want to start us off by grounding, and then we're gonna jump into it. Okay, so I hope you guys are ready. So let me see what's going on with everyone. I should probably just wait for my phone since it's working now. Okay, headed to meet my advisor, plan for graduation. Yay, I'm so excited for you. You're gonna do great. Nope, you're not late, I promise. I started really late. I was having phone malfunctions and getting the proper track that I wanted to use today. It makes sense, I was born air sign. You were definitely born an air sign. Sarah Lee says air and earth are my favorite elements. See, and I'm water and fire are my favorite elements, because they're polar opposites. Definitely need grounding today. I'm running from one place to another, pulling samples. Ooh. Hey Trinity, Zoe, Michelle. Okay, wow. I didn't expect this many people to be on this early. Maybe I'm just the one that's never here early. I'm always a late nighter in a way. All right, so first thing, okay, I want everyone now, if you're driving, please don't close your eyes. If anything, focus and concentrate on what you're doing, but listen to the sounds. I'm going to turn it up. And as you're doing this, I want you to literally clear all notions of what you think you know about elemental beings. Focus on the air. If you are driving, put the windows down a little bit, okay? Let it blow through your vehicle. If you can step outside for just a second, step outside and cleanse yourself for a second. I have windows open all throughout my house. If you can light some incense right now, do it, because that is, you know, one of the biggest symbolisms of the air element is incense, the smoke itself, okay? Or just breathing, okay? Taking a deep breath in, inhale, and then release. All right, so I'm gonna turn this on. We're gonna start by grounding. You can watch me if you choose, or you can do your own thing. It doesn't matter which way you want, okay? So that's not a good sign. What? Advertisement. I promise it's an advertisement. Okay, so I don't know what happened, but something was stopping me from lighting 2 matches. They actually died out on me, so something's going on today. I don't know if it's with one of you guys or with me, but something is wrong. So even though I cleansed and saged my whole house today, I don't know what's going on. But here we go. Whew. Let's fix this. All right. That's better. Okay. Now we can start. I'm sorry about that. I don't like working with elemental beings unless everything is cleared out, and it wasn't cleared out, guys. So something's going on. I know that song is amazing. It was a great ending. I mean, I expect nothing less from, you know, us and our group. So let me put this back here so it doesn't hinder too much smoke. Okay. So elemental beings. All right, what do we really know about elemental beings? And if you've been on our group the last time, you kind of probably heard me talk about all 4 of them. Well, we're going to break them into segments. Why? Because just like all elements, these deserve their own spotlight. Okay? So, like I said, air itself is one of the strongest of the 4 cardinal elements. Okay? It is because it's what we breathe. It is what we need to sustain life. It is also very powerful. It's very destructive. Okay? This element can force other elements to do what they need to do. But it's great for wisdom because it clears your head. If you just stand outside in a great strong breeze, I'm not saying a storm breeze, but just a very good breeze, say like you're sitting on a little, I don't know, like a rock or stone, okay? It will literally cleanse you from every part of your being. And if you work with chakras, it'll cleanse you from the root chakra all the way up to the crown. If you work with the Celtic 3 cauldron chakra, not chakras, I'm sorry, the 3 Celtic cauldrons, which is like a form of chakra, but there's only 3. Okay, there's the what they call the base chakra, and I'm gonna perfect the titles of them, so I'm just gonna give you where they are located. But there's the base, which is kind of like around between like the root and the sternum area. Then there's the heart chakra area, which is the 2nd cauldron for the Celtic. And then there's what they consider the head to the crown chakra. So like if you work with whether it's the Celtic version or the actual chakra version that everyone knows about with all of them, this is fantastic, okay, for cleansing it. Know that you're going to hear me go back and forth between Sylph and air element because they are the same. They are what it is. The Sylphs, they ride on the wind, okay? It is the sound. It is the voice. It is, you know, even if you take one of those sound bowls and you utilize that, it is part of the Sylph's way of communicating with you by pitch, low vibrations to high vibrations. Now, they always say elemental beings have a very high vibration as it is. That is true and false, but depending on your own view. Remember, everything I say here is going to be my view and what I've experienced and what I know of and what I've researched. So Sylphs can have any vibration they want, just like any of the other beings. But I found that these are very, I'd say like central point to low, okay? Because like a storm, it rumbles, okay? And from that storm rumbles to a high crack like the lightning, okay? So there's a wide range where the water element and the undines, they work with more of a higher frequency, how the sirens speak, okay? It's very high, but it's very mesmerizing nonetheless, okay? But we'll get into that when we do undines next month. Okay, the second part of grounding sent chills through my whole body. Wow. And you know what? That might have been my fault because I had to focus and thank you. My focusing has been off a little bit, so I do apologize. But I'm back, and I feel better. It's just taking me a little while. No problem, love. I'll see you when you're done. Okay, so, Sylphs, okay? Back in the day, Sylphs were identified as creatures with wings, creatures that were ghostly and kind of, you know, wild looking. They didn't look gorgeous like a lot of people portray them as now. But back then they were more beast-like, more claws and, you know, animal-like faces. Think of like a harpy, okay? Then that was the first rendition, okay, that people identified them. And then as time comes and more modernized views and more insight into them, then it shifted, okay? Then they realized that they don't have to have wings like angels, okay? So people identify Sylphs as angels, and there's nothing wrong with that because they very much could be, okay? But then they turned them into beautiful creatures. Then they turned them into wings that then turn more into fairy-like wings. Then those then turn into transformation type of beings where they're invisible. And you only see them through a smoke, or you only see them through a very weird green light. And it's very faint, very small, and very quick, and you've got to catch it in a flash in a way, okay? So there's so many renditions of what they actually look like. Now me, I've always identified the Sylphs not as fairies, not as angelic, no wings or anything like that, but I do identify them as within the smoke. They are found within the air, okay? If you have a bonfire and the smoke rises from it, that is where you'll see them. At least that's where I've seen them, okay? Now, I've seen them hidden in the forest. I see them as these little weird light balls, okay? Kind of like the ones where people catch in cameras, which actually Kathy had a picture of one that it stood out very, very drastically in my mind. But I know what I'm looking for as far as, and it's not a catching of the light, because I looked. And yes, a lot of people can mistake orbs as Sylphs, but it's not, okay? It's not always that. It's that little thing that they let you catch them. You don't just have this amazing ability to be like, oh, there they are, how high? No. If they want to be seen, they will be seen. That's a big thing with it. More feral, more wild. Yes, that's how they were portrayed when they first started. Yes. Sarah Lee says, I see them as wild/air spirits. I do see them a lot. Right. And you can, very much can. And they want you to see them. But if they don't want you to see them, believe they will stay hidden. That's why a lot of people know them as being individual, like the wind, or invisible, like the wind, okay? But know that they have their nature spirits, like Sarah Lee said, huge nature spirits, air spirits. They're the most powerful wisdom you can get. So out of the 4 cardinal elemental beings, they are the most intellectual. They are the most wise, okay? They see things a little bit differently, and they look and they hide and they watch and they adapt and they learn. That's what a lot of the Sylphs do, okay? It is strong feminine energy that comes from the Sylphs also. So for us females, that's fantastic. For the men, it's a little bit harder for them. But I'm not saying that men don't have feminine energy within, because they do. But it's a little bit easier for us as females, or as the feminine side of things, okay? They do have a king, or if some people want to call it a queen, because there is no gender between this king/queen. I recognize as a king. But the king is Paralda. That's how you properly say. I call him Par. It's just easier for me when I'm actually working within his realm itself and within his element. But it's Paralda, okay? But I do call it Par. They are guardians, okay? If you go to a beach and stand on, say, some rocks, you know, like the ones that stack up high, you know. And even though the water is there, if you just close your eyes and take in the breeze that's going to come from the lake, any type of water, the wind that brushes up, that is him speaking, because he transforms. He merges into the wind itself, but it's not the light wind. It is a powerful wind. So you won't sometimes even realize that he's there, okay? So let me go through this a little bit more, and then we're going to jump in to see what you guys see. So, cloud figurations, that's Sylph. The wind, storms, tornadoes, okay? Tornadoes are one of those disasters that it's like they're yelling and screaming at us in a way. A light breeze is them just communicating with each other. A strong storm is them getting a little bit more agitated. But the stronger storms that require a wind element, so biggest one would be the tornadoes, that's them getting mad and upset and yelling. So they want you to listen, okay? I'm not saying, you know, we're gonna understand what they have to say, but that's them being upset in a form. Kind of like how we say Gaia is the one that controls the weather. That's not wrong at all, at all. But these beings have been put here to work within these elements. Now, here's another thing a lot of people don't realize is these elements can work within other elements. So the Sylphs can work within the water element. It can work within the fire element as well. But it has been said that if they work within other elements, they become more human-like. They can take shape and form of humans themselves, but by them transforming into the human or being placed into a human body itself, they then become human, and their life expectancy is that of human. Okay? They then have a timeline where the Sylphs, if they stay within what they are, more invisible creatures or these beautiful beings, they can live a lot longer. However, if they die, and they can die, the only one that is said not to die is the king himself. Par does not technically die within how our expectancy is. The Sylphs do, but the Sylphs are said to not have soul. So when they die, they don't get reincarnated. But a Sylph can take the form of a human, okay, live a human life, and bear children. Those children then will receive the attributes and the power and the wisdom that comes within the Sylphs themselves, and they will be half-breed is what we call them also. But they do have a soul at this point. So it's a little bit more like, so wait a minute, so Sylphs have no soul, and when they die, they don't get reincarnated, but if they take the form of human, they still die, say, 50, 60 years, but their children have souls, and also gain the wisdom and the magic behind it. Yeah, it's messed up a little bit, right? But there are half-breeds out there. But what they do is they pass on the knowledge through. So those that have strong connections to the Sylphs, they have somewhere down their bloodline a connection, or someone else in their family line, ancestral, have had a connection, which then connects them stronger to the magic itself of the Sylphs. Now, I'm not saying, like, I don't know if I was born within anything when it comes to, salamanders or Sylphs, undines, or gnomes. Anyone could be born, as a breed of some form, because, again, these have been around as long as the earth has been created, okay? Because they are the element itself. But, sorry, just turn the music back on. But just know that, that's one of the theories that comes from Sylphs. Now, again, you can believe what you want, take what you want, but I do feel that all creatures can create and be part of, the human body, the human soul, all that. So you take what you want from that, okay? But that's how I feel. I do feel that, you know, when they can transform like anything, I do feel that there are half-breeds out there that have a strong connection to Sylphs because they have an ancestor that chose to, you know, mate with one of us. They fell in love. What's wrong with that? Okay. Let me see. Caught this slide by accident, but oh how I need this. Just moved to Wyoming and the wind here has been unbearable at, there we go, let me drop down. Bearable at times. I need to come with understanding the wind. They're obviously trying to get my attention. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, yes. They sure are. Wyoming is amazing. That made me feel so sad. I love when you can see air interact with water because tiny ripples. Yup. Yup. To shorten their lives. And it's not that, you know, they made it on a whim. It's a decision that, you know, even some of the movies and the books you read where, you know, they choose, you know, a human soul because it's different, it's unique. And, you know, they want to be like them. You know, there are the ones that are content how they are, and there are some that they want to feel free. They don't want to be confined. You know, it's been maybe a millennial for them, and they're done. They want something different. They want to see what else there is. Again, you know, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, so let's jump a little bit deeper. So, of course, we already said that they, you know, they dominate the skies, they dominate the wind itself. A lot of things that the Sylphs give air its personality. So, like, air pollution loses its power. It helps loosen it. Sylphs are actual face in purification. It's the breath that we take. It's the breath that fills with us within. It's what, you know, it's how we breathe. They live amongst themselves. They live within us, which we've already said. They're more than capable of adapting to our lifestyles and being part of our world because, again, they're the ones that are hidden and no one watches, and they watch. They watch us. They're like people watchers. What is she doing? Why is she doing that? Well, let's find out why she's doing that. Okay, so how connecting with Sylphs can help. So spiritual journeying. So Sylphs will get you to where you need to go. They can assist in any type of healing. Just like the air cleansing, it's really good. So they will help you with your breathing. They are the lungs. They are the respiratory side of you, okay? They are your cellular repair system. They also give a huge enhancement to inspiration, communication, and mental clarity. We already established a lot of that. A lot of people don't realize that being into witchcraft and a spiritual seeker, if you work with any form of divination, they are fantastic for being mediums. They love working with mediums. They love working with the clairaudience abilities, okay? They love dealing... Oh, hi. Hi, where'd you come from? Well, that's a good sign. Okay, sorry. I got sidetracked. They're really good with, like I said, mediumship. They're really good with psychic development. Anything that's like a telekinesis type of ability that people have. Clear insight to anything. Empaths. Even the dark empaths hone a lot to the Sylphs. So they'll work a lot with them without any of the mediums realizing that they're there, okay? Those are the stronger divination methods. Now, a lot of people are like, well, what about the cards? The cards go with every element. So do tarot cards. Pendulum is great also, but we'll get into pendulum one day when it comes to the elements itself, because yes, air can help sway it, but it's also a mental clarity, but mental clarity goes hand in hand with Sylphs. So again, it's your own thoughts, but I hone it more to psychic development, I hone it to more mediumship and clairaudient abilities. They're very noble. They're very noble creatures. You can't just walk up to them and be like, hey, you want to come work with me? We could be friends, have some fun, do some fun. They're just kind of like the dragons, you know, it's a noble thing. It's a request, it's an asking, it's a thanking, it's a respect, it's, you know, stating why, you know, you would like to work with them, what you can offer them, and then ask what, you know, they're willing to offer you. They're old. They're the oldest. We did say that. Now, if you're making an altar, offerings based on incense, any type of air herb, so herbs that, you know, have any type of air element connection to it, okay? But I'm going to say incense is the biggest thing, and the biggest one is actually frankincense. It is the air element in the Sylphs' strongest connection is frankincense, okay? Now, if you want to do some herbs with it, lavender. Lavender is fantastic when it comes to the Sylphs. They love the smell of it. They love how it mellows you out, how it calms you down, how it brings you into a light zone in your mind. So that's why a lot of people put lavender and chamomile together. Chamomile would be a really good one too, if you want to use chamomile to help as an offering, but lavender is the stronger one. It's something about what it does to the mind, how it eases the tension. It takes everything that's built up and it just makes it like dissipate, okay? So lavender is fantastic as an offering, just so you know, okay? It is the Eastern Watchtower. The east is its direction, okay? Just so you know, if you utilize directions with anything, when you're actually invoking any type of elemental being that is a sylph, and remember there's millions of them, you want to stand on the east and face the east direction. Now there's nothing wrong if you want to face in the south or the north. You're gonna hear them better from the east, okay? Personal experience on that. So there is an author / medium that was able to connect with a sylph, and the words that the sylph told her, she put into this book. And I want to read you this little insert from the book just to see how you feel about what they had to say, okay? All right. We sylphs are the guardians of the wind and air. We are currently facing the greatest plague of the elemental kingdom at this time. The air is so vital to everything on this planet, yet it is no longer clean. Pollution travels through thousands of miles, and we are losing our capability to control it with so much man-made chemicals and substances, which we are not equipped to deal with. We can only cleanse so much at a time before we can no longer exist. Please help us by sending your prayers, thoughts, and manifestations to the sky to heal, to seek. We sylphs do not want to witness the buildup of more tropical storms, tornadoes, and other airborne natural disasters which escalate out of our control. The earth is meant to operate in harmony and balance. So please help us to return it to so. So, what'd you think? Honestly, just reading that, how did you feel? And while you guys are typing out, I'll keep going. So there are a few break-offs because there's other types of sylphs. So just like, you know, there's Native Americans, there's, you know, Germans, there's Irish, okay, we all have, you know, different cultures. Sylphs do have break-offs like that as well. So if you live in the more northern hemisphere areas, you know, like where it's freezing cold all the time and you get snow most of the time, you might work more with the Snow Queen or the Snow King of the air element. Yes, I know snow is water. I'll get to that. Then there's the air that comes off the water itself, and that is a different style of sylph. Then there's just the sylphs that you will find in the forest that radiate through the trees. There's different forms, and they work with different things. Michelle says, hurts my soul. I'm super sensitive today. Sorry. Don't be sorry. Don't ever be sorry. Speak it. Okay? Speak it. They want you to hear it. Speak. Sarah Lee said, so very sad. All the elements are crying out right now, and it hurts my heart. It does. Just wait. Just wait. It doesn't get any better with their channel messages when it comes to sylphs, undines, gnomes, or salamanders. Okay? Trinity says, it is what they told her or a political agenda. Nope. She has no political agenda. This is just her as a medium connecting with the sylphs. Because you can tell a political view and what they, want you to help with pollution and, because we're going to choose to do what we want to do. Right? But is there anything wrong with any type of being asking for help? I agree that the earth has continued to suffer with pollution, but I also wonder about change and adaptation. Their power lends to change. I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from. I didn't take it that way. I didn't take any political view. I'll have to get her name. She is a world-renowned psychic medium, and she does work with the elementals. That's why I found her fascinating. I wish I knew a book. I don't think I have that book. Yes, I do. I'll pull it out and see if I can find it. Ronnie says, truly saddened because we can kill them off with our pollution. I don't want to have anything to do with that. Brittany says, makes me feel guilty because I'm not always the most green in my daily life. And that's the thing. Ray says, I love to read the book. Maybe I'm in a mood right now. Nope. Listen, like I said, speak what you feel. You're not going to ever be judged for anything you say. At all. I promise that. And here's how I see it. You just picking up your own, trash helps the earth. You don't gotta pick up everyone else's. You choosing not to put more extra pollution into the air that's, intended to be a not care for the earth is doing something. You don't have to fix everyone else. You just work on you, recycle you, things like that. It doesn't have to be, anything that, you're going to be able to change the world. Just you change you. That's all. But again, they're not saying, no one, has to listen to the sylphs because you might not have any connection to the sylphs. So it might make no sense to you, and that's totally fine. So don't think, you have to listen to, these beings that you've never met before, you've never connected with, and you have no idea what they're even talking about or what they look like, really. But just something I thought you guys would find interesting on what they have been feeling just in general. Okay, so the Sylphions, they are the ones that live within the clouds, okay? They are what form the clouds. They work around the clouds. They create the storms. They move the storms. They make the pretty cloud formations. Okay? They are the Sylphions, all right? They work with droughts. So if you live in an area where it doesn't rain very much, these might be the ones you might actually want to try and seek out to help your area with. Their role is very affected by global warming and any type of man-made climate change, okay? They do struggle, but unfortunately, they are one of the most dangerous of all of the sylphs. The Sylphions are really bad at creating tornadoes and any type of hurricanes too, okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay, and then there's another one. They're called the spiritualites. Now, they are the ones that are known as like the guardians of the colder climates, the snow areas. They cover the land, but because they're not the snow itself, it's when the snow falls from the clouds, that middle point of when it's actually falling from the sky, that's what the spiritualites are, okay? So those types of sylphs, they really work with keeping things at a colder level, cleansing, because, you know, a lot of people don't like the cold. They don't want to live in the cold area. So what they're going to do is, you know, that's their way of keeping people away from that area so they can keep it as pure as possible, okay? Now they work with what they consider the Snow Queen. I don't know much about her. I do know that she is a half-breed. I know she is half Undine, and she is also a half Sylph. I know I need to do more research because that probably makes absolutely no sense. And I said half-breed, which usually implies that she's half human, which she is not in this case, but the half-breed is of two elements together. I'm gonna look more into her for you. I just know of her. I don't work with her or anything like that, but if you ever find her fascinating, love the snow, it's something you want to work or look into, okay? So, I already said what they look like. We don't need to go through any of that. We already talked about their special abilities. See, I'm really quick. I write notes, but I don't always follow the notes. Okay, so here's a little bit extra. So sylphs have more than just invisibility and brawn going for them. They also have a type of intellect that men lack. That is why they hone more to the female energy. They are born understanding the universe and the connections between all parts of it. They do know ways of manipulating things to get what they want. They do manipulate. If they have an end game, you could believe that that's what they're honing into. They're all about knowledge, which causes many alchemists to pursue them because of a classical era. They want to know what their power is. They want to know what they know because they're so old. That's the alchemy side. Perhaps the most impressive aspect of the sylph's intellect is their supernatural foresight. The future holds many mysteries for a sylph. Like I said, it's that intellect, it's how they work with mediums, it's how they work with the clairaudient ability, it's how they just know things. That's where that all comes from, okay? Now, their weaknesses. So according to early mythology, sylphs are only capable of moving freely through air. They drown in water. Ready? Here we go. This is that weakness thing that you pick and choose what you want to believe, okay? I believe that they can blend through, but they lose a part of them. Other people believe this. So, they drown in water, they burn in fire, they become trapped in earth. So they are basically powerless outside their own element. However, in more modern day mythology, it also states that sylphs are mortal in both body and soul. They can die from hunger, illness, and physical injury because they lack a soul when they die. They simply cease to exist. Luckily, there's a loophole for sylphs if they marry humans. The sylphs might gain an immortal soul through the marriage, or they will birth an immortal soul. At the very least, the couple's children will be of an immortal soul. So again, there's different loops. It's your understanding, your feel of it. I do believe that, they will die without a soul, but their children will have that soul. But I do feel that they can blend through other elements. They're just a lot weaker. They're not as strong. They have to be in the air to be able to control. But if they want to skate across the water and dive within the water, I don't see how that is such a bad thing. I just know that they're not as powerful if they're not in their own element working with it. Let's see, Trinity. I feel that I want to connect and open myself more to all the elements and their harbingers. The wind has been screaming at me so much. Oh, yeah. Well, here, trust me, I got some stuff for you to try and connect with them. I just want to give you the understanding of what sylphs are, okay? Okay, so characteristics. Okay, I already told you what I think they look like. Here's what some of them are. So according to early Sylph mythology, the Sylph is one of the 4 creatures called elementals. Follow the cardinal elements. Sylphs, of course, embody the air, while gnomes the earth, salamanders the fire, undines the water. Yes, we know this. The elementals guard a great treasure of power and knowledge and are hidden in the pure worlds of each element. But occasionally, all the elements are capable of giving rise to monstrous offspring. The birth of one of these monsters is rare and apparently very spontaneous, but disasters usually follow at the heels. When a sylph delivers one of these monsters, it takes the form of a giant. Over time and through culture shifts, the sylphs become estranged from these and were linked to air spirits such as fairies and pixies. They also filled the void left by the sirens of classical mythology, becoming a slightly more innocent version of a seductive yet magical creature who lures men to their deaths. Now, that probably didn't make any sense, so let me explain it a little bit easier. So a lot of people like to blend sylphs and undines. People like to think that sirens, because of their voice, are sylphs, because they think that when the wind blows, people can hear high-pitched frequencies, where the water can give you just as much of a high-pitched frequency, okay? Sylphs, if you wanted to relate them to a creature, relate them to fairies, more so, okay? Air spirits. Sirens are more water-based. I'm telling you, they might not be half mermaid in some legends and histories, but sirens have this ability that literally talks about, in mythology, all about the water and how they drown their victims, okay? I'm not going to go too much into that, because when we go to Undines, I want to talk about sirens just a little bit, and I want to explain how I learned about sirens and how actually the sirens drowned first by their aggressors, and then they came back to seek revenge. But I'm not going to get too far into that. So let's go a little further. How could I forget this? I said psychic medium, stuff like that. So the Oracle of Delphi, if you remember me talking about that, the Oracle of Delphi was said to be the half-breed of a sylph, okay? The knowledge, all that. So I thought that was pretty fascinating. If you know much about the Oracle of Delphi, or oracles back in ancient times, they were believed to be the half-breeds of sylphs, okay? Or sylphs that took human form. Again, no soul, unfortunately. They are said that they will gather when whispered into your ear. They will give you insight. They will give you visions. They will come to you through dreams. So if you do dream magic or any type of things like that, sylphs work really good. Their archangel, if you work with angels, is Raphael, okay? Part of the creative force known in other cultures, they are part of the creative force. So what they mean is like Tai Chi, oh my gosh. Life force, Chi, Q. Fire is like Kundalini, if that makes sense. So if you work with energy, sylphs will work a lot with your Chi, okay? They can be felt within a calm breeze, but they could also be within the strongest tempest winds. I'm just trying to see if there's anything I missed. Okay, so if you work with essential oils, here are some that you can use to help connect you. So chamomile, rosewood, sage, lemon, lavender, frankincense, okay? If you want to work with some herbs, some lemongrass, some peppermint, we already said lavender, we know chamomile also. I'm trying to think what else would be a good one. just using incense in general, the smoke from the incense. Even if you want to, have a bonfire, working with the smoke that comes from the fire itself is great too. They have a fascination with fire. They find it very interesting and very it's like a curiosity thing because it's a creation thing. See where I'm going with that? Creation thing. So if you have a bonfire, you might actually attract some sylphs. They might just be hiding around. They might be on the bridge or the brink of the forest, kind of out looking, but they're always curious. Remember, salamanders hide within the fire, so, there could be a connection too. Experiment. But this is the biggest thing I can say. Experiment. Questions. Now, I'm not giving you everything, because, if I give you everything, then you're never going to find your own connection. Trey says, ugh, I have to run. I want to thank you for your knowledge, and I will definitely rewatch for more information. May even reach out if you... Yes, reach out. If you do, please do. I love everything that deals with the elements. I'm just trying to stay... I'm trying not to focus too much on the element itself, but more of the sylphs itself. Hey, Alan. You can add bundles of herbs to your bonfire. Lavender is great. Peppermint. Lavender and peppermint are two really good ones. Hey! Calm. Stop. No, Draga. Yeah, you could definitely add it. Throw it in there. And actually can help with the insects, too. I will. I'll get you the book. And if you... let me pull this out real quick. Hold on a minute. Move my butt to get everything. Okay, so if you want to look at sylphs more of a fairy, look into this book. Okay, there's some information in this that comes to where they kind of depict elemental beings as fairies into this book. Okay, it's a really good book, by the way. They even talk about, look, here's a perfect example right here. Look at this. So, I don't know if you can see it. It says Sylphs, Air Elemental, right there. I just opened it, went right to it. It'll break it down. It gives you some things to work on. It's called Enchantment of the Fairy Realm, okay, by Ted Andrews. It is to help communicate with nature spirits and elementals, okay? So in general, period, this is really good. Now, keep in mind, there are a lot of people who think that fairies connect really good with the earth element, which is not wrong. They fly, yet they live in the forests and, hills and all that stuff. So again, read the book. It's really good. So this is a good one, just so you know. Okay. Then, if you want to work with, oh no, that one's more of a earth-based. We don't want that. So then there's this book. And like I said, there are going to be a lot of element magic, but that's where you find the information on any elemental beings. There's this one. It's a really good book. Same thing. Because what you're doing, it's all elemental based. Because you're awakening the elemental magic. Okay, so it's all of them. So there's that book. Natural magic, you're going to find a lot of information when it comes to any of the elemental beings with this too. Okay, so here's another one. Now, I love this series. Absolutely love this series. Why? Because it breaks it literally into the elements. So, because we're working on sylphs, I recommend getting this book. It talks only about air. It doesn't blend anything together. It keeps it solely, gives you great meditations, it gives you great connections to, okay, all that fun stuff. So this is a good one to connect more with the sylphs and the air element itself, okay? Then, of course, when we get into the other ones, like next month, we're going to focus on the water elemental being, which are the undines. Then after that, we're going to work with gnomes, which is going to be the earth. And of course, my favorite I saved for my birthday month is going to be the fire elemental, which are salamanders, okay? And that's just gonna be a hot topic, and we're gonna do this at night, hopefully with a bonfire, as long as it doesn't rain on that night. So I'm hoping, so everyone will be happy that we can get a bonfire this night, and we can talk around the bonfire on this one. I'm trying to go to the lake when I do this one, and this one we're gonna go hide out in the forest. As long as the weather doesn't do this to me like it did today. So apparently there was a reason I was supposed to be inside today, okay? So there's a few different books for you. I can take pictures of these books and I'll post them on the group page if that helps, Brittany, for you. So any questions on this? So what do you guys want to know more? Okay, tell me. Crystals, jade crystals, any type of jade crystals, jasper crystals that are lighter in color. You don't want to go for like the Dragon's Blood jasper because that's not a good one for sylphs at all. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's actually really bad. Anything that's light in color, clear, they love clear quartz. They love clear quartz with stuff inside of it also. Garden quartz is fantastic. Yes, I said garden quartz, even though you would think that would be an earth one. It's not. Garden quartz is great for sylphs. Why? Because the top of the actual crystal itself is where they hide out. So it's kind of like a ball. Do I have? Oh, it's all the way upstairs. But yeah, let's see what other crystals are really good for it. Blue apatites for undines. What's the other ones? I'm drawing a blank now because I'm on the spot. I don't like being on the spot. I forget. Crap, what's the other one? I know I have it somewhere. I didn't pull it out. Oh, crack quartz. Love crack quartz in all colors. But they just like quartzes in general. That could be phantom quartz. That can be any type of quartz that has tourmaline in it, even red tourmaline, purple tourmaline, pink tourmaline, doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. I'm always drawing a blank. Oh yeah, I know the camera. I figured it would, cause I have my little screen, so I can kind of see it too. So yeah, so you know, like this is my newest beauty. I had to order her. She needed to come home with me, but it's really cool because in this quartz it has a little bit of garden, which is really hard for you to see because it's not gonna focus. But it has a little bit of garden on the side, but that is literally it. The rest is cut, just beautiful. But she is one of my favorites lately. She's a pretty good chunk too. She cost me, surprisingly, she actually cost me a pretty penny, but I made sure she was coming from somewhere else, not in the States. And then this one is one of the ones I got from Kathy, which I love it to work with it for grounding because it so fits in my hand and it's pointed. I love when they're pointed because it draws out energy from both ends. Love crystals. No problem. Rebecca, don't even worry. You're good, hun. All the information is going to be here. What other questions? What else? Ask me something. Anything. Do you want to know, you know, well, I mean, I kind of talked about how you technically can connect with them. Honestly, if you just go outside, you can sit on a porch, close your eyes, and just listen. Listen to the wind. Listen to the air that's blowing through. I know it sounds silly, but I promise you there are messages on the winds. Okay, it's kind of like, if you guys ever watched Pocahontas as a kid, Grandmother Willow, how she speaks to Pocahontas and she says like, listen child, listen to the wind. The messages are on the wind. Like it's on the wind, I'm telling you, and it's good and bad. They're warnings and then there's happy things that they want to tell you. Open your windows, let the air come through and cleanse your house. If you can't use incense, use the air. Use it, okay? Your breath, when you're using any type of tarot oracle cards. Quiet, Kong Kong. Use your breath, use the air to cleanse it, okay? That's how I cleanse all of my cards when I go to utilize them. Anything like that, try that. I promise you, it's gonna be great. And you know, I'm starting to think that maybe not today, just because I know it's actually about to storm. I can just feel it. But I do want to go outside, and I do want to just do a live where we listen to the wind, how it blows, and I just feel that some of you guys need that connection, like, really bad. I need the connection really bad. The winter killed me, and I don't know who's, like, I know who's watching, but I don't know who needs to connect, but they are trying to connect to someone, especially in this group. I don't know if you've been trying to connect with them before, but someone is meant to connect with them. And I'm not saying everyone's going to be able to work with them the way I work with them, but I really would like you guys to at least try. I'm going to see if I can dig up some old invoking incantations. They're in my book of shadows, but it's a mess, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna try and find some stuff for you. There is a meditation though on YouTube I'm gonna post as soon as this is over. He is a fantastic guy. I love his meditations. I love it because it's so nice to be able to go somewhere where unfortunately there's other people around, but they can't hear it because I have my headphones in, and I can still sit there and in complete yoga meditation and just connect, but no one else can hear him. So that's why I love this guy so much, because if not, then I'm speaking it and then everyone else is looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm very protective of my practice. I'm very protective of everything, and I'm that one that's gonna lash out, be like, what are you looking at? Do you have a problem with someone meditating? Do you have a problem with me doing this? Because if you do, you can go somewhere else. I'm one of those ones that will lash out because I'm very protective of my craft, and I don't like judgmental people. So I like this guy because I can listen to him, and his meditation is fantastic, and I think it's gonna help you guys a lot, especially the words that come from his mouth. You know, he speaks to the Sylphs like they are the guardians, and it's really great. So yeah, I'm gonna post that. Same here, Brittany, same here. Is there a certain day or time to connect with them? Best thing about that, doesn't matter what time or night, daylight, at all. A fantastic time though is actually on a cloudy day, because the clouds are in the air, okay? And there is either a stormy breeze coming or it's just a strong breeze coming. That is the best time to really speak with them. If it's really sunny out and there's no clouds in the sky and there's no air breeze blowing, that's not the time you want. So plan it out kind of when it's a little not stormy, but cloudy out, even when it's just heavy clouds, guys. Like, imagine when we were kids and, you know, we sat there and we laid on the grass, put our hands behind our head, and we just kind of looked at everything and be like, that looks like a dinosaur. Hey, look, that looks like a dragon. That looks like a truck. Those kind of days, that's the days you want. Yay! Way to go, girl. I'm proud of you. I knew you could do it. I always knew you could do it. No worries. But yeah, those are the days you want. So you want really cloudy, heavy days, thick clouds. Remember, what kind of sylphs? What kind of sylphs live in the clouds? Okay. And strong, heavy breezes. Okay. And ask the wind questions and see if you can hear the answers. And it's a training of the ear too, which clairaudience is a great thing to have if you have it, it helps. If you don't have it, they'll find other ways of, helping you, or it feels deep here, or feels deep here a little bit. Or if all of a sudden you just get these weird like images and you're just kind of seem like you're daydreaming and it seems so real, that's another sign that it'll help. But speak to them. Some of them have names, some do not. Some just are, they don't even know, they're so young, their energy is so young, even though they could be hundreds of years old, but they're so young that they don't really have a name. And that sounds so weird because you would think everything has a name, but they don't. The ones that do are extremely old and they probably were given the name. But the king itself, King Par, he does, that's his name. but just know that, you know, he's not an easy one to connect with. None of the kings are, for many of the elementals. None of them are strong or easy to connect with, but connecting with this, just a sylph in general, their curiosity will always get the best of them, and there's nothing wrong as long as you don't stray them or do them wrong, okay? If you use them in magic, you can use them in light magic, gray magic, dark magic, that's fine. Give them a heads up why you want to work with them, and let them say yes or no. Don't just automatically invoke them into your practice, into your magic, unless it's like a cleansing or a healing type of, unless it's a healing type of magic. Then that's what they do. That's what they are. You know, like, it's all about the healing. It's all about gaining knowledge and stuff. They have no problem helping. But if you're using it more of like a revenge, and for some reason I want to call on to, you know, a strong storm, you know what I mean, and hope they get stranded on, you know, some area, or they hydroplane or something, and I'm utilizing the air element to create this type of thing, that's going to be something you might want to ask their permission with. But I would definitely recommend healing, gaining intellect and knowledge, cleansing. That's what you need. I do talk to the elements, just am always mesmerized by them. I will get zoned out if you let me outside. We had 2/3 really beautiful days last weekend. I should have been cleaning, I should have been cooking, I should have been doing everything else, but what did I want to do? I grabbed a lawn chair and I sat outside underneath the sun, and yeah, I don't remember much of that day. I just remember being outside. It felt amazing. I felt amazing. Like, it was everything. So yeah. No, you're good, Sarah Lee. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, please drop them down. Like I said, there's so many things you could do to connect with them, but I just want you to know that they are there. You can connect with them. But the air element and the sylphs are this, okay? They are the guardian of. So some people, you know, call to the guardians of the watchtowers, you know, the dragon guardians of the watchtowers, and some people call just to the elements. Well, actually, when you call to the elements to be your watchtowers or the guardians of, when you're opening a circle, just so you know, you're actually calling elemental, because they're actually the guardians, not the actual element itself. You're actually calling the elemental beings, because they're the ones that are open close. They're the ones that are the strongest connection to the element itself. So you're calling actually them, you just don't realize it. So some of you probably called and invoked them without realizing you're actually invoking them. Yes, sometimes you just need to reconnect. Yes, and I really need to reconnect. Did my hair, went back to my fire red. Got a lot of shit for it at work though, because it's too bright for work. But I said, I'll just wear a hat. So I wear a hat now for work. I'm getting back to myself. You know, I saged my whole house today because I knew I was doing this live. You know, I said a little incantation within the house. We did our grounding, which I don't know what happened. I don't know, and I'm not saying this, I don't know if someone brought it to me through this internet from the live itself, or if I somehow brought it. I don't know how. I thought I cleansed this house really, really good, but something was here, but we released it, so we're good with that. But what we're gonna do is I want to do one more cleansing on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one more frankincense. And we're going to do a goodbye and closing of this live. But I want to reground us with the sylphs, okay? So I love binary beats, however, of course it's going to be a message. Alright. Let's put this. Really cute. A little dragon. Man sense. Ronnie says, I remember your other lives on elements. Always great information. I love the elements. I can sit there and talk about them all the time. I'm just really sad because I really wanted to be outside to do this. I'm like, Ronnie, I really wanted to be outside to do this. But I'm gonna work on it as far as getting us to the water for the undines. There's this beautiful place at this park. It's not really a park, it's a massive area that, you know, they got really pretty waterfalls and just this very pretty stream. But I want to go to this one where no one really goes to. There's like a little walk path, but a lot of people don't go to it. And I want to go there because there's something about that area I think you guys would absolutely love. And then there's this area that's pure forest, and I think you guys will love that too. And then the bonfires can be my backyard, because I like my backyard and I like the bonfires. Okay, so let's clear this, and then we'll go. What's going on? Energy flow, there we go. Have a good one, sisters.